Well, hello. I'm going to tell you about 10 myths regarding Cape Coral and the Fort Myers area, and we're going to get started right now. Hi, I'm Sherry Puchacz, better known as Sunshine Sherry, and I work for Remax Realty Team right here in Cape Coral, Florida. Thanks for coming back to my channel, but if you're new here, please consider subscribing by clicking that little red button. That way you'll be notified of every new video I make and all the information that I try to provide for Southwest Florida. Let's get going on looking at those myths about Cape Coral and Fort Myers. The first myth that we're going to talk about is that the only thing to do here is go to the beach. Well, that's not true. Fort Myers has a very active and historic downtown. Sanibel Island has a fascinating cultural history worth exploring. If you drive inland just a few miles, you can't miss the Audubon Corkscrew Swamp Sanctuary. This preserve is bursting with birds and gators and other swamp critters too. There's tons of history around here too. Think about pirates. Think about Thomas Edison and Henry Ford. There's vintage lighthouses here and even archaeological sites that date back thousands of years. That's not even mentioning the nightlife that goes on around here. There's music and cold beer flowing all the time. Constantly some type of festival or concert that you don't want to miss. So I'm not going to tell you a story. The beaches certainly do hog the spotlight around here. But there's plenty more to do if you can pull yourself away from a beach day. The number 2 myth is it's always scorching here and you're gonna melt. Well, indeed, the summer temperatures can get you a bit toasty. But because of our proximity to the Gulf of Mexico, we always have a nice cool sea breeze here. If you ever do find yourself a little overheated, you can always take a dip in the Gulf of Mexico or jump in a pool that's closest to you. And then we have fall, winter, and spring. And those times of year are glorious. We rarely have a day that doesn't hit 70 degrees. And we're not called the Sunshine State for no good reason. At some point, almost every single day, the sun comes out. Number 3 myth is that somewhere else in the world has more canals than Cape Coral. Not true. Cape Coral has the most man-made canals than anywhere in the world. And they are a pleasure. So make sure that you've got your boat tuned up and you've got your fishing pole with you, because we have world-class fishing here, whether it's in our freshwater canals or in the Gulf access canals. You know, a lot of people think of canals and they think of Venice. Well, guess what? We have 400 miles of canals here. Venice, 26. Number 4 myth is that we lack big city culture. Well, you know what? We lack big city misery, not big city culture. What you won't find here is big city traffic gridlock. Now, I'm not going to lie, we do have traffic, certainly a little bit more during January, February, and March when our beloved snowbirds are here, but nothing like the traffic that you'll find in Tampa or Miami or Jacksonville or plenty of other big cities all over the country. We don't have any smog, which you'll find in lots of parts of the country because of that cool Gulf breeze that we have most of the time. And you also won't find body-to-body masses of humanity. Now, as I said, the population goes up during January through March because our beloved snowbirds are here. But generally speaking, it's a pretty easygoing place to be. Here's what you will find. We have a symphony orchestra. We have an opera company. We have 3 Broadway musical theaters in the area. We get big name rock concerts, intimate live shows. We have 2 Major League Baseball teams that do their spring training here. We have 2 newspapers and award-winning magazines, and lots of independent art studios, which means lots of art shows and festivals. Number 5, it's really expensive here. Now, don't get me wrong, we host plenty of high-end guests here. So if you're looking for luxurious accommodations, we've got them. But if you're also looking for some lower cost, budget-friendly rooms, competition is fierce, so you can find those too. And if you come in the off-season, then the competition is really high and you can find some really great deals. Now, if you're looking for something a little more on the cheap, you can certainly go to one of our state parks, and we have campgrounds there at Cayo Costa and Lover's Key, and there's plenty of sites right on the beach. Number 6, everyone is old down here. You know, that's a stereotype that really gets applied to pretty much all of Florida, but let's really look at the facts. According to the Census Bureau, nearly 3/4 of the population of Southwest Florida is under the age of 65. And you can really tell that when you go out to Fort Myers Beach and Sanibel. You'll see a thriving millennial population out there. You will see those millennials out at bars and restaurants on Friday nights. You'll see them running on the beach on Saturday mornings. And there they are, paddleboarding on Sunday afternoons. And while there are lots of non-retirees living here, you'll see plenty of hip young tourists because this is a great spot for weddings, for bachelorette parties, and of course, we have our own spring break crowd. Number 7, the food scene is only good here if you like seafood. Not true, because the dining in Southwest Florida has really evolved in the recent past, and we've got lots of new restaurants with great new concepts. One I really like is in Fort Myers, and it's called the Melting Pot. You can sit at your table, and they will bring you fondue pots of cheese, of chocolate, and of broth to cook meat, chicken, seafood in right at your table. It's such a cool concept. And guess what? They have a romance package also. Now, if you're looking for a little more rustic dining situation, make sure you stop by Bubba's Roadhouse and Saloon. They'll bring you big bowls of peanuts, and you will crack those peanuts open and throw the shells on the floor. It's a lot of fun. They have entrees that include all kinds of grilled steaks. They've got pulled pork, barbecued chicken, and the ultimate line of burgers. If Italian is more your style, make sure you try Sassy's in Fort Myers. They've got braised short ribs with goat cheese polenta, and you could even get escargot as an appetizer. Another favorite of mine, if you're looking for some reasonably priced Mexican fare, is El Tarasco on Pine Island Road in Cape Coral. And if you go there on the right Thursday night, once a month, a mariachi band will walk around the restaurant and even come to your table and play for you. It's definitely not just gumbo around these parts. Number 8, the only sport that you can play around here is golf. That's not true, but let me tell you, we have world-class golf around here. So if you're looking for that, we've got it all over the place. Now, you know, the people that live on Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, they really like to do a lot of different sports. You can't throw a tennis ball without hitting a tennis court. I mean, they're on almost every corner. So if you like tennis, this is a great place. And I'm sure you'll notice the abundance of bike trails and walking trails. Triathlons are big around here, and if you're looking for a group to join, plenty of bike and walking groups that meet every night of the week. And don't forget about water sports. It's not a surprise that Southwest Florida has a robust water sport activity. Lots of paddleboarding, there's kiteboarding, there's kayaking, and sailing everywhere in the area down here. Also, there's a really cool thing, whether you're familiar with it or not, called geocaching. That's where you can jump in a kayak here, because we have so many canals, with your GPS device and go around and find the caches. People come here from all over the world to do geocaching, so look it up and give it a try. Number 9, the closest big airport is Tampa or Miami. Not true. Southwest Florida International Airport, or RSW it's called, is a great alternative with tons of flights coming in and leaving every day, and there are even non-stop international flights that land here and fly out of here. It is a smaller airport, but that can work to your advantage, because guess what? The security lines are shorter, your baggage comes quicker, and you know what that means? Within about 30 minutes, you can be on your way to Fort Myers Beach and have your toes in the sand under an hour after you land. We do have a smaller airport in Punta Gorda. Allegiant Airlines flies out of there to about 45 different destinations, and it can really be a low-cost opportunity for you. Number 10, and my favorite, we get hurricanes all the time. No, we actually don't. We are lucky that we live in some kind of a little lucky vortex that we don't get hurricanes all the time. And I don't want to jinx us, but in 1960, Hurricane Donna came through with a vengeance. Now, there were only 40 homes here in Cape Coral in 1960, and about 30 of them ended up with roof damage, so it wasn't a pretty sight, believe me. But then you fast forward to 2004, when Hurricane Charlie did come through here and cause a lot of devastation. It was a Cat 4 hurricane, and there were about 1 million people that were out of power. There was about $16 billion worth of damage, so I'm not trying to downplay that, but that was in 2004. Now, I bought my house here in 2009, and I've only had to put my hurricane shutters on one time, and that was for the next one, which happened in 2017, which was Hurricane Irma. Now, you know, it was scary listening to the wind, but when I did return to my home, because I did take shelter in my husband's workplace, I came home to find no flooding, no roof damage. One little tree fell over, and about 4 of my screen panels in my lanai had blown out. Now, there were plenty of people that had roof damage, but nothing really terrible. So when you hear from other folks that we get a lot of hurricanes, we really don't. So don't let that frighten you. And that finishes up our 10 myths that you sometimes will hear from folks about Southwest Florida, Cape Coral, the Fort Myers area, and now you know what the actual facts are. So I certainly hope to hear from you. Give me a call, shoot me an email. I'd love to chat with you about what your plans are for considering Cape Coral and Fort Myers as your new home base. Now, if you want some more information, I've made some other videos. One of them would be about the cost of living in Cape Coral. You could also look at the one about the pros and cons of living in Cape Coral. If you have any questions at all, I'm Sunshine Sherry. I am always here to help, and I can't wait to work with you.